I'd like to talk a little bit about my interview with a special education instructor in my school and how we discussed creating more similarities in literacy instruction in our school. In looking at the similarities on the chart that I've created, it doesn't look like there are a lot of similarities, but with the things that I have listed, those are some big parts of literacy instruction in 8th grade at our school. There are a few ways that we feel literacy instruction could be improved when thinking about the similarities between the special education classroom and the general education classroom. In thinking about different ways that we can meet the needs of our students, we discussed nonfiction text quite a bit. There are a few websites that we think we could utilize a little bit more to help align our content in the special education classroom and general education classroom when thinking about literacy instruction. These two websites are ReadWorks and News ELA. They provide students with articles, a lot of times nonfiction articles. That's when we primarily use them at our school. The neat thing about the articles is that you'll receive the same content in the article, but they have different levels of the same article. So essentially, students are receiving the same content, but it meets their lexile level needs. Another thing we discussed was the need for more small groups and differentiated instruction in the general education classroom. A lot of times, students in the special education classroom are receiving their instruction one-on-one or in a small group setting. In the general education classroom, on the other hand, a lot of times students are receiving their instruction as a whole group. We both felt that more small groups and differentiated instruction would help better meet the needs of our students in the literacy classroom. In thinking about creating more similarities between the special education classroom and the general education classroom in our school, we found it kind of difficult. A lot of times, there aren't very many small group pull-out special education literacy classes. Our school has transitioned to mostly co-taught literacy classes for special education students. The neat thing about teaching literacy in a co-taught setting is that both the special education instructor and the general education instructor are working together to make sure that they're reaching every Common Core standard or essential standard set by the district and learning target for each student. As the 8th grade reading teacher at our school, I meet with the special education instructor for 8th grade to co-plan and make sure that we're hitting those learning targets in the classroom. As we discussed in the beginning, we do feel that our district has some work to do when it comes to aligning special education instruction and general education instruction in literacy, especially when those special education classes are being taught as pull-out classes rather than co-taught classes. However, when we think about our literacy classes as co-taught classes in our middle school, we feel that our district has set us up for success as teachers to help students meet their needs appropriately.